I started the nature and bike videos, you know, because I wasn't seeing what I wanted to see, and what I wanted to see was the truth of the matter. Not everyone is biking to get in shape. Well, Blue Chew stopped sponsoring my videos because there was a bunch of backlash. Because I got a bunch of people that love to ride bicycles, and you're giving them boner medication. And so it's a bunch of people, which I sure thought was funny, riding down with massive hard-ons, and it started becoming a problem, you know. News did a little article on it and everything else, and they thought it was kind of, you know, a male solidarity thing or something like that. They didn't know it was just Blue Chew. Shit, depends on the day what freedom means. I mean, it can mean a lot of things, but to me, it just means living the way that you want to live, and, you know, sometimes even forcing it on others. I did have a bike sponsor in the past. I'm probably never going to have one again because apparently they don't like when you turn their equipment into, you know, paraphernalia, for lack of a better term. I mean, it was okay when I came up with the water bomb holder for the bicycle, but when you turn the bike into one itself, you know, right there, it's not on this one, I need to do it on this one, but doing it to where this is a pipe, a little choke back here, I've done it before, you know what I'm saying? Not everyone wants to come around to the right way of doing things, and, you know, all that, so sometimes, you know, limited force is needed, but then they're free, you know what I'm saying? Free to do what we say or face the consequences. That's freedom too. People are doing it to get away, some of them are doing it looking for places to hide and everything else. It doesn't always have to be something health related or environment related, even though it is all related and nobody wants to admit it, but hey, you know, you can read my book. Yeah, some people call it a manifesto, but honestly it's just a book. The best part of being in the news, unfortunately, is having a good lawyer because, you know, slander, defamation, and all that is a thing. And if they're just accusing it, nobody's been able to prove it yet. So anything that they say that I've done, I mean, I haven't done anything wrong. Anyone that says I have just doesn't really know enough about me or anything else. And it's not like I'm a public person anyway, so I get that. But best part is probably the times that they pay me to come on and talk. And then they say it's not going to be about, you know, my book, but it always ends up about my book because, you know, everyone, I guess, sees it in one way or another, and they're paying me basically to promote my book. So, yeah, there's a lot of good about it. I mean, the people don't agree with me, but not everyone has to. They're giving me a chance. You know what I'm saying? No one else is, so I'll take it from the news all day. I have had a summer biking camp, you know, and it's been fun enough and all. I don't think that everyone's cut out for it because it's a lot of drugs, a lot of bullets, and a lot of them riding as fast as they can. Now, I haven't shot one yet, but I've came close and I sure as hell have tried, you know what I mean? We're trying to give them a real experience here, not a fake one. Yeah, I've been part of a federal investigation. I've been on, you know, different lists and all that. But I'm not a bad guy at all, you know. People have it wrong. You know, they think everything that I wrote is supposed to be taken serious. And it's like a Bible or religious text, you know. It's open to interpretation. And if you interpret it a certain way where you go and do violent actions, that's on you. That's not what I wrote in there, okay? You know, and the FBI knows this. I told them this. They questioned, you know. I've been in front of every court you can think of. So, yeah, I think it's done, but yeah, they did label me a terrorist, and I did some time and I'm out and everything else. And they shouldn't have labeled me as one. I'm not a terrorist. You know, I'm just a concerned citizen, and they say they want concerned citizens, but they don't, because you raise their concerns and then they become a bunch of bastards and just come after you with everything they got. Man, I don't spread the message in the videos because it's not needed. You know what I'm saying? I keep the stuff separate. If people want to read my book, read my book. If you don't, it's just going to be, the kind of stuff I do in the videos. That's it. It's not going to be some kind of, recruiting tool, because there's nothing to recruit to. What? Recruit you to go read my book? Nah. My Patreon is not OnlyFans. I know people say that stuff all the time. Just when you're being investigated by the government and they're looking at everything you do, well, if they want to see all of me, they can see all of me. You know what I'm saying? There's a bunch of people out there that don't want to be seeing all that, and I know that, but you pay for it. It's like HBO or Cinemax back in the day. It may contain nudity, alright? The reason they come after me is basically the manifesto. That's what they call it. It's a book. Anybody can call anything manifesto. I'm still alive. I'm telling you, it's not one. That's really all there is to it. Manifesto has a horrible ring to it and horrible connotation, and I don't want to be thought of in the same breath as that. So, yeah, some people do think that I was on the run, but it's not that. I wasn't on the run from the cops. I just wanted to go across America. There's a lot of places I have been, a lot of places I haven't been, and I was figuring that this was a good way to do it. I mean, it was all crazy at the time. That Chad Caruso guy just skated across America, so I thought, why not bike across it? You know what I'm saying? Might have a little less trouble than he did. That would be a good way to get sponsors, and it was, because everyone loves a story like that, a story of perseverance. But I'm not going to say I biked the whole way, because I didn't. And I'm not going to say I walked the whole way either. You know what I'm saying? A ride's a ride. Either way, I got across America. You saw me riding across it. I never said how much I'd ride across, but you know what I mean? It's not like I was doing anything to hurt the environment or anything like that. So it really shouldn't matter. You know what I mean? Craziest thing I've seen. I don't know. I've seen a lot of stuff out there. I mean, the world is a wild place. Some people would like to think nature's the craziest thing, but meth exists. So can't really say that. It was something from nature. It was something from a lab that caused somebody to. There was poop cleaning, and then firecrackers. A lot of cops were called, and nobody ever wants that. I mean, it was a whole mess. It was on the news. You know what? I mean, the guy said that he was basically doing performance art and being a wild chimp or something like that. And that's what he was trying to portray, they from their own poop and all that. But he can say whatever he wants. We all know what it was. I mean, we were smoking it with him, so. None of us acted that way. Just because he didn't mean that we have to, you know what I mean? So, and that is the day that I learned that you can just cook it over a campfire, you know what I'm saying? Back in the city, you never think, well, I'm at the campfire, I want to really smoke this, but, I don't have a lighter on me. We just put it on the fire. I mean, it's maybe a little bit more dangerous, but you're out in the wild. The wild's more dangerous anyway, besides cars and all that, which I don't believe we should have. We got legs, some of us don't, but there's plenty of other ways to get around. Craziest or worst injury? Well, there was that one time where I thought that I was a lot closer to sea level than what I was, and ended up going over this rock, which I just thought was a boulder where Earth was going to be on the other side. That wasn't the case. I ended up looking like a cartoon character, just falling through the air. It felt like forever. The doctor said I died 7 times. Now, I don't know about that, but they charged me for 10. That's the problem. So, someone's lying somewhere along the way. I may have not died at all. I may have died 7 times. I may have died 10 or more. And I've seen pictures of it. It looks like a Jackson Pollock painting if he used red. You know what I'm saying? So, or if he was maybe a little bit more imaginative. But you'd be surprised what they can do anymore. And yeah, I mean, unfortunately, magnets aren't my friend at all. Like, I remember I went home one year and it was my birthday, so my old friends decided to mess with me. They got a giant magnet, like the kind you see in junkyards and stuff like that to pick up new cars. And yeah, they left me connected to it for 5, 6 hours. Now, I've never been the same since, but yeah, like I said, I keep saying that I'm not going to get hurt again, but I don't know if my brain is just not smart enough to stick with that, or there's something wrong. It's not like rock climbing, there's paths, there's everything else. It is a struggle, but it's not going to be as dangerous. So I'd love to do some higher ones, but honestly, I'd love to have one where it's just a smooth road all the way down. That would be fun, but I know that they don't make them like that. I've tried to talk to people, they won't pave them like that, they won't cut them like that. They say it's way, way, way too dangerous, and I say that they don't know what fun is. There can be a lot of groupies, not necessarily the kind you want to deal with, though, because they think a one-time thing is a forever thing. You know what I mean? They're trying to make it that way. Things get weird fast. Even if you wanted to stay in town another day, you can't anymore. And you can't let anyone know you're leaving because they're like bloodhounds. My favorite state? That's easy. Inebriated. Hear me out, alright? No matter where you're at, if you're inebriated with other people, especially if you're on something that brings you all together, it's a great place to be. So, if everyone's happy drunk or something like that, that can be a great time. But even if it's a great state, you can have a bad time in it, no matter where it is. So, the state, and besides that, I'm going to beat all of them again. So, I ain't going to say one's my favorite because that's just going to cause me a lot of problems down the road that I don't need. A lot of people take that state stuff very, very serious. You know what I mean? So, yeah, you ain't getting that on me. I mean, there are a lot of great ones, a lot of great times, a lot of great parks. Yeah, I have luckily been able to get video of a few times that I've been chased by police. I've been able to get it from the police station itself. Now, there are different ways that this is done. I'm not going to say exactly how it was done or why it was done, but if you watch my videos, you've seen, and they're all basically health and safety related, right? Health, meaning having to stand on everything to go all the distance and over all the terrain that you might have to. So to me, it's partially educational, and some people might say it's blown out of proportion, the things that happen in these videos and all that, but you never know what's going to happen. And it's better to be ready for the worst. Favorite park? That's a hard one. There's one in Iowa. Now, it matters what kind of park you mean. Like, this one's a trailer park, but it's not meant to be a trailer park. It's just very vast. If I remember right, it might be a state park or something, but, it's a good place. It's a lot of good people. You don't have to worry about too much outside riffraff or anything like that besides you when you're there, you know what I'm saying? But if you're cool with everybody, it shouldn't be a problem. But as far as just nature and all that, there's plenty of places around. Not that they're all the same, just some have awesome views, some don't, and some have harder trails and some don't. So, yeah, it's not that I'm trying to be non-committal. All it is I don't know what my favorite is because I don't know if I've seen it yet. Maybe I have, maybe I haven't. Favorite so far, as far as nature and beauty and all that, probably the redwood one. I mean, the problem is it's hard to hide there, even though all the trees are big and all that. There's people there all the time. You can't just build a tree house and all that and expect to hide out. People say I'm a journaling junkie. I'm not. I mean, yeah, sometimes we all get a thrill out of something, but that's not the reason I do what I do. It's just the way I'm wired. I don't know how to do anything different. Even if I could, I don't know if I would. You know what I'm saying? Just because this is the life I know. I've tried different kinds of things, but just a lot doesn't agree with me, and I don't agree with it. Yeah, we are starting a fitness TV network. You know, gonna start moving some of the biking stuff over there. I've been shooting stuff for it already, and then on top of that, there's gonna be different kinds of cooking shows, stuff like that. Crackhead Kitchen is gonna be. I think we have the first season already completely recorded. If not, it's close to done. And it's basically cooking on a budget. Cooking whatever you can find, different ways to do all that. And some people might not like the name of it, but people are going to say you're a crackhead when you are doing these things anyway, even if you don't smoke crack. So, we're just preparing people.